What's up, guys? The Angry Dipper, and as I mentioned in the intro, today we're going to be doing a 2017 Toolbox Tour update. Now, if you haven't checked my old update video out, I would recommend doing that. You can see how much this box has grown over the past few months. So we're going to go into some pretty thorough detail. The box is in my garage right now because I'm going to school, and I don't really have a need to have the box in a shop right now. Until I finish up. I'm working on my a couple ASEs right now, so focus on doing that. So I figured while it's here, we might as well do this video because a lot of you guys like that video, got quite a few views, and we're gonna do this one horizontally. That way you guys can get the full screen view of this. I was not aware that by doing it vertically, you did not get the full screen. So we're gonna do this horizontally. And we're going to get right into the video. Everything's rearranged. Just got the box home yesterday, and I rearranged some stuff, so here we go. We're going to start the actual box itself. This bottom cab here is a Husky 7-drawer cab. It's actually fairly sizable. The only complaint I have is it's not really all that wide, so you can see I have a 1/2-inch ratchet on top of that box because it won't fit in any other drawer. It's got ball bearing drawers. I think you can pick it up for about $120. Really not bad. When you're looking at a toolbox, you got to keep in mind the toolbox has never made me a dime. It's what's in it that matters. So I mean, if you're in a position where you can finance like a Snap-on or a Mac, or whatever, or maybe you have some extra cash or whatever, or maybe you just want to use a Snap-on or Mac, I mean, by all means, go right ahead. But in my personal opinion and through my experience, I am a professional mechanic. I work in shops. I've worked in numerous shops with this box, and although it's got some it's beaten up a little bit, it's held up. So you can get this 7-drawer cab for about, I think if they're down like 120 now. They're probably going to discontinue it soon, so if you're interested in getting it, I would try to get on that pretty quick. The top part of this is a Craftsman USA 4-drawer top. It's got 3 pull-out ball bearing drawers and then a flip-up lid. And on the side here, it's a Craftsman 2-drawer US little service cart, roll-around cart. The Craftsman parts of the box are fairly empty just because I don't really, they don't lock, and given the fact that it's not in the shop right now, it's locked in my garage. So I put some stuff in there that normally I wouldn't put in there. But most of the good stuff is going to be in that Husky box. So breaking into the box here, we're going to start up top. This has been rearranged a lot. Usually, when I have a work order, it goes here. I have pens. My receipts usually stay up here. I mean, I've got some odds and ends, photos. Yes, he drew a cock. I really appreciate that. But, over here, this is actually my brother's shop in Biloxi, Mississippi. I lived there for a while. 69 Chevelle, fully factory. I think it's worth like 90 grand now. And my dad and I, my recruiter and I, before I left for basic training, some family photos. I keep that up there. Just, something nice to look at whenever you open up the box. As far as the lining goes, I bought this off of, actually at Walmart for like $5 per roll. I bought a couple rolls. I cut them down, and I used Easy Bead to line the drawers. I think Husky does sell the drawer liners. But, I mean, if you're a mechanic and you have Easy Bead or Permatex or anything like that, you can actually mount these down way cheaper than buying the liners. Back there, Skittles, something to munch on while I'm working. Nitrile gloves. If you work with anything greasy, you're OCD about your tools like I am, nitrile gloves can really cut down a lot on grease buildup. It's more liquefied when it gets on your tools. It makes it a little bit easier to clean. Whereas, if you're not working with gloves, you have a lot of grease, it can really kind of grind into the tool and you have to scrub it. So I usually wear nitrile gloves if I'm doing something that involves like lube, like oil, or like diff fluid or anything like that. Up here, this is just an MPVI. When we get a vehicle in, we inspect the vehicle. Looks like this was for a E350. Odds and ends, just some stuff. Hockey receipt, a charger, extra Sharpies, some safety glasses in there. Nothing in this drawer. Now, since we're getting to the bottom part, I guess I'm going to go up here on the top of this. This is a Snap-on steel-handled 1/2-inch ratchet, 80 tooth. It's super long. And it's a good ratchet. You pay about $230, $240 for one of them, and I mean, it's covered under warranty and everything. The only thing I don't really like is I think it's a little bulky, but I do use it a lot. If you're somebody who works on like heavy duty or whatever, it's a great thing to have. I would recommend, though, the cushion grip with a flex head. I think it's going to be a little bit more versatile for you. Not that this is a bad ratchet. It's an excellent ratchet. It can put up with a lot of abuse and torque before you even have to think about failure. But if you're somebody who doesn't use a 1/2-inch application as much, which in my case I tend to, because I was working on diesels and heavy duties. But if you're somebody who doesn't uses a 1/2-inch to like really break free bolts mostly, you might be better off getting a cushion grip with a flex head. One of the benefits of having a steel handle is I think they're a little bit more durable as far as the entire construction goes. You can put a cheater bar on it, and you can get some extra leverage that way and really not have to worry about it breaking much. 80-tooth design, pretty efficient ratchet, gets the job done. Over here, odds and ends lights. This is a light that works when it wants to, so that stays there. A couple other flashlights back there, some Goo Gone, some different kind of hand cleaners, a broken magnet, completely shredded, stuff like that over there. This steel plate here, I use this usually for like gapping spark plugs, or if I have any like transmission line clips like Jeeps and other GM cars have, I usually put them on here so I don't lose them. So that's pretty much just up top. Starting up on the top drawer, this is where all the good stuff is, and a lot of people ask me about a lot of these tools in here. So we actually have 2 sets of wrenches in here. The first set is going to be an Expert combo wrench set. Expert is like Max Blue Point, and this goes up to 24. My rep removed the 23 because it's rarely ever used. I mostly use these for like alignments. Obviously there's always a need for combo wrenches, but the main reason I bought this set is because it was like $130 and it came with pretty much all the right sizes to do alignments, and it would have saved me a huge pain to try to track those down online. So these are decent wrenches. One thing I do like is they've got a nice thin profile. The texture on the outside doesn't scratch easily at all. It does show a lot of fingerprints, but doesn't scratch. So if you're looking for something that is a little bit easier to clean, also it doesn't pick up grease as easily. Grease just kind of seems to stay on the surface, but doesn't go much beyond that. So these are excellent wrenches. It is a 12-point box end, and it's got just a tiny little ridge in the top of the open end. But they're pretty basic wrenches, but for the price, you can't go wrong. And when I bought them, they came with these adjustable wrenches. These are Expert also, which is, again, Max Blue Point pretty much. Pretty basic, but, they get the job done. They're good. I've never had a problem with them. So I do like those. And like I said, for a package deal, as far as, getting this whole set of wrenches from all these over here and these 2 down here, with the adjustable wrenches, totally paid for itself. The other set I have in here is a metric GearWrench set. The main reason, if you're somebody who uses ratcheting combo wrenches like these, as far as durability goes, they're actually pretty good. I've had these for about 3 or 4 years. They've held up. I think I've only had an issue with one of them, but they're excellent. I think you can get, honestly, the set for like $40 if you know where to look. But one of the biggest downsides to using ratcheting wrenches is a lot of the times I resort to a combo wrench when I'm, in a tight place, and obviously with it having to be reversible, meaning, this side's forward, this side's reverse, you have to swap it out. If you're working in a tight place where you might get caught up against, a firewall or another engine component, you're going to end up either getting the wrench stuck or you're going to have to just undo all the work that you did. So it is beneficial to also have a set of non-ratcheting, but the greatest thing is a lot of the times when you can get away with using a ratcheting, these are way more efficient, because you don't have to keep pulling the box end off of the bolt that you're trying to loosen up. You can just ratchet it down, one and done. So I put metric in here because it's rare that I ever have to use SAE. I do have a set of SAE wrenches, which are on the bottom part of there, but these are all metric. It goes from 18 down to 10, and I use them occasionally, but mostly I stick to the Experts now just because, like I said, a lot of the times I'm using them in a tight space. Next drawer. So this is one of my favorite drawers, and there's a lot of pretty unique things in here. Starting off over here, we have these are my main ratchets. These are my 2 main ones. I use these almost every day. Usually I resort to the flex head, cushion grip flex head over the snap-on, but This is actually a Pittsburgh 3/8" flex head cushion grip ratchet, which is Harbor Freight. And I got it for like 20 bucks, and to be honest with you, it's held up amazing. The only complaint I have is it's got this side bolt here. That's what you use to tighten down the actual head, and through extended use, the bolt does tend to loose and the head gets a little bit floppy. It's a T15 Torx bit that tightens that down, but other than that, it's been pretty great. It's put up with a surprising amount of abuse, and for the price, you really can't go wrong. And that's rare that I say something good about Harbor Freight, because I'm not a big fan of Harbor Freight, but I love it. I use it every day. The next one. This one was just warranted, actually. It's an older generation snap-on 3/8" steel-handled ratchet, just a standard 3/8". What had actually happened is it got stuck in reverse, so my rep ended up putting a rebuild in, so you can see that part's nice and fresh. Just again, it's just basic steel-handled ratchet, really nothing too special about it. Snap-on. Back here, these are my 1/4" and my backup 3/8" ratchets. This is a channel lock. This is, I believe, a 72 tooth. This is not a bad ratchet, but as I said, I resort to the long flex head most of the time, and when I need a steel handle, I'm probably going to go to the Snap-on, but backup channel lock 3/8" ratchet there. This one I actually found on the side of the road, but it's a locking 3/8" flex head. It's probably like a Craftsman. I've never used it a day in my life, but if one size ratchet was to break, it'd probably be the 3/8", so I keep as many of those in there as I can. My 1/4" ratchets, these are just real basic because I never use 1/4". This is just a basic Craftsman Evolve ratchet, and it's really not very good. I guess I wouldn't expect anything else from Craftsman, but yeah, it's not all that great. And then the other one is a Stanley steel-handled 1/4" ratchet. I use this one more than the cushion grip. Back here, I have just two Craftsman USA flatheads. I use these to like pry, or take wheel weights off, stuff like that, because I don't mind hitting those with a hammer. I would prefer not to hit these with a hammer, so these are not striking. These ones are, so I use those. As far as the screwdriver set goes, this is a Snap-on. I believe it's the 8-piece combo screwdriver set. These are just excellent. They've got the instinct handle grip, and if you're somebody who uses Snap-on tools with this grip, the best way to clean them off is either window cleaner, or you can get like CRC spray for like OBD2 ports and stuff like that, or like electronic CRC spray. That'll clean those instinct grips off real quick. I've actually had these for a very long time, probably about 4 or 5 months, which is a decent amount of time because I use them almost every day, and they practically still look pretty new. Now, one of the interesting things about these is you can actually put a wrench on these. Now, when I first got them, I didn't really see much of a point in that, but then, when you do actually need to put a wrench on them, it's definitely convenient to have that. And on the back part here, on the handle, it will tell you what size you're going to need in order to get a wrench on it. So those are Snap-on 8-piece. These are in the green, obviously. Over here, this is just a fastener puller, a lot like the Mazdas, and mostly Mazdas use these as, skid plates underneath. This is actually more of a one I bought for, it works really well on the heat shields on Ford gas tanks. They have those little plastic fasteners, rubber fasteners. This works excellent on those. That's why I bought it, because I was in the middle of a Ford job and we just kept getting like certain generation F-150s. I think it was like the 2004, 2006 that all had these fuel issues. So if you're looking, you want to get the smaller one if you're trying to remove fasteners off of like, the Mazdas and those Christmas tree fasteners that are on everything nowadays. But if you're looking to, remove heat shields, this is probably going to be your better option. Again, Snap-on, that's in their red, instinct handle grip. Over here, we've got some extensions. We've got 2 standard extensions, a 3/8 and a 1/4", and the rest of them are 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4" wobble extensions. I paid $20 for these on eBay, and they've held up so well. I'm very surprised. No rust at all. And honestly, for 20 bucks, you can't go wrong. If I can at some point get the link, I'm sure I'll pin it in the comments or whatever, but it comes with pretty much every size you could need, and they're all wobbling. Huge plus. Love it. Next drawer. So this is pretty much the miscellaneous, like electronics and basic vehicle maintenance drawer. I've got all my oil tools over here, oil filter pliers. you know, igniter, and that's like a propane torch. If you're a general service tech, you're going to want to get one of these. This is a adapter for Toyota oil filter housings. The filter's inside a housing underneath. You need a special tool to get it off. You know, just some basic wiring, a real basic multimeter. Really nothing too special in here. This is a Conwell scan, or it's a Conway scanner, I think it's called. And it was like 30 some bucks off this dude who came to this old shop I was at. He used to sell tools like privately off of his truck, and I bought it. And it does live data. It's pretty basic. I guess I can show you guys real quick. It's pretty basic. You can get them offline. I think you can even get them at Walmart. I rarely ever use it because most of the shops I go to, you know, have like Snap-ons or something like that. But it's basic. You know, if you're a home, you know, do-it-yourselfer, you really can't go wrong with getting it. This is a vacuum bleeder kit from Harbor Freight, and for the longest time I thought it was amazing, but it really is not all that great. I find myself bleeding brakes manually more than just using this. It's great if you have like a small car, like a Honda Fit or something like that. It can bleed brakes like that. When you start getting into, you know, larger vehicles like, you know, pickup trucks and stuff like that, good luck bleeding it with that. It just doesn't have the power. But I spent money on it. It's okay. If you can get a seal, it works. It's really nothing all that special in that drawer, so I'm not going to focus much there. Just real basic stuff pretty much every mechanic has. Make sure this goes in there right. All right, next drawer. This is the socket drawer. This is one of my favorites. It used to be my favorite. Now, I mean, it's still one of my favorites. I have to say, I like the screwdriver drawer a little bit better. But so there's a lot of interesting stuff in here. So we'll go in depth here a little bit. So over here, obviously, if you are familiar with Snap-on, you know the gray tray. These are a 1/2-inch shallow impact sockets by Snap-on. It goes 19 to 10 mil. They're really great, especially if you have Hondas that have 19 mil lugs and they have those really soft alloy wheels. Because it's a softer metal, it doesn't mark stuff up as well. Sorry, somebody flying by my house. Doesn't mark stuff up as much. So definitely good investment. I think you can get these for like right around a couple $100. Totally worth the money. Up front here, these are actually PT, which is O'Reilly's brand, 1/2-inch standard impacts, deep. You know, all the way 22 to 10 mil. I got these for like $27. They've held up for like 8-9 months now. No problems, no breaking, anything like that. So definitely a decent investment. This yellow tray here, these are original American Mac, 3/8-inch deep and shallow impact sockets. All the way, I think it goes from 10 to 19 mil again. This set, it's about $250, but it comes with these just beautiful 3/8-inch Mac deep and shallow impact sockets. I love them. They're great. When I do use them, don't get used quite as much as I'd like, but you know, a couple times you use them, you really do appreciate having 3/8 impacts, because usually, you know, you don't want to wear out your standard chrome sockets. Here, these are 3/8-inch chrome sockets, just basic metric sockets. Oh, and these are metric, obviously, metric and metric. And these are metric also. Chrome 3/8-inch deep sockets by PT, again, O'Reilly's brand, $20, held up great. Over here we got unbranded nut driver sockets. Never use them ever, but I mean, if I ever did, they're there. Over here, these are Husky Torx bits. The T10 and T15 broke. So if you're, you know, going to be using anything on a power tool or like anything like that, I would recommend getting, you know, triple squares or something else, or impact grade ones. But these are cheap. You can get them for like $14. The bigger ones have held up fine against like smaller power tools, but these ones broke pretty quickly. Back here, these are 3/8-inch chrome shallow sockets, metric and SAE by Channel Lock. Good sockets, use them almost every day. And then behind that, metric and SAE 1/4-inch deep well sockets by Stanley. Bought them at Walmart about 5 years ago before I even really knew how to work on cars or like what good tools are. and they've held up. And over here, you know, we've got some, again, PT spark plug sockets. This is a GearWrench spark plug socket. It's got a couple of those in there. Over here, obviously the DeWalt box has a whole bunch of different kinds of adapters. You know, if you have like an impact driver, I actually have 2 of these. So, and when I moved them, I'm sure it threw everything around in there. Underneath that, Ryobi drill bit set. Nothing too fancy there. It does pretty much any kind of material you could go through. I really only use those for like tire repair for the most part, or like extracting like a screw. You know, if it's I can't get a grasp on it with anything else. And then up here we've got handheld torque spits, Pittsburgh, which is Harbor Freight, and then metric and SAE Allen keys. And as you can see, Harbor Freight being Harbor Freight, that didn't last too long, so we've got miscellaneous Allen keys off of that in there. And then we've got a couple different adapters for an impact driver. This is a 1/2 inch, the 1/4 inch is in there, and the 3/8 inch is already on the gun. And then over here, we got a set of snap-on picks. These are basic picks, not full size, or the mini ones in their red. Comes with a straight one, a 90-degree one, a curl, and then a slant. So 4 picks, snap-on. It's pretty much that drawer. Next drawer, this is a fun one too. This is power / air tools. Starting down here, this is a snap-on 3/8 inch 14.4 volt microlithium ratchet. Cordless. I believe it has about 11 foot-pounds of breakaway torque or something like that. Excellent tool. So much fun to use. It works really well, holds up well. And I bought it with the kit. And if you're going to buy any snap-on power tools, if you get the kit, yeah, it costs like $500, I think is how much I spent around for that. But it comes with 2 batteries and the charger. So like the next time if I have to buy, you know, let's say I want to buy like what I like to call the license plate gun, which is like a little screw gun, you know, I don't actually have to buy the battery. I can just buy the tool because I already have another battery. And all the 14.4s are universal. So if you're going to buy, you know, a snap-on power tool, look into getting the whole kit because it comes with the tool, 2 batteries, a charger, and you get that little carry bag down there. So this is one of my favorites, the snap-on 14.4 microlithium ratchet. Up top, right above that, this is a 575 foot-pound, 1/2 inch micro Harbor Freight gun. Used it for about 6 months now. It's actually really not bad. I've been surprised with some of the things I've been able to break through with that. And I got it for like $40 because the guy got it new and got something else. So I ended up getting it for a steal. Right above that, this is the Snap-on MG325. This is a 3/8 inch air impact by Snap-on. This is the black one. As you can see, I kind of wore off the boot by using too much cleaner all the time. So if you're going to clean it off, I would just take like a dry rag and just gently wipe it off. Otherwise, you know, you're going to have the same thing that happened to me, and the boot's going to just wear off all the logos and stuff. This is a 325 foot-pounds of breakaway torque by Snap-on. Excellent tool. I use it all the time. I love it. It has a muffler and everything. If you don't have the muffler here in the bottom, it'll be super loud. So I'd recommend, you know, getting that Snap-on. This is a Snap-on 18-volt drill. Again, it's rare that I ever use a drill, mostly for like flat repairs and stuff like that. But when I do, that's why I haven't upgraded it. But when I do, I have that older, it's last gen Snap-on. Then over here we've got a 20-volt DeWalt microlithium impact driver. This is also one of my favorites. A ton of power. There have been times where I've actually been able to take off lug nuts with that and the 1/2 inch adapter. So it's got a lot of power, and I love using that tool. The batteries last a long time. And then down here we've got 2 die grinders. These are Mac tools, a 90-degree and a straight micro die grinder. These are an excellent deal. Usually a rep will sell these anywhere from $90 to $120 for both of them, and they are just excellent. The only thing that I complain about a little bit is if you use wet lines, sometimes this head likes to seize up a little bit. But if you just, you know, hit the wheel a little bit, it'll eventually unlock itself and go back to working like normal. But for the money, you really can't go wrong. So that's that drawer. Below that, these are all my lubes. You know, I got grease, Canon recharge kit for like aftermarket Canon cone filters. I do a lot of aftermarket stuff, even to minivans. I actually have a 69 series custom fit Typhoon intake on a minivan that I drive around in the wintertime, and I use that to clean those. Got Loctite, PB Blaster, propane for like a torch, all that stuff, some oil stabilizer. So we've got all, this is pretty much just a lube drawer, nothing too, Permatex in the back. Always get stuff like this. This is like an easy bead, which is, again, like that's what I sealed down my liners with. And then the bottom drawer is pretty empty, but that's basically like just like a little electronics kit if I ever have to get like some sort of connector. And then like a rivet gun and some basic stuff. Just really nothing down there. So over here, I've got my chargers. These are, got the DeWalt. It says 12 and 20 volt charges. I've got a battery for this. And then over here, I've got the 14-4 Snap-on charger. And then on this side here, this is a Snap-on pry bar set, striking pry bar set. These are excellent. It's a 4-piece set. This is green. Again, it is striking, so you can take a hammer to these, not have to worry about breaking anything. You can get these for right around $200. So again, another decent tool from Snap-on. I love them. Never had a problem with them. The only thing I do wish is that they would make it a 5-piece set, increase the price a little bit, and add a way longer, bigger pry bar, because this is the longest pry bar that they have that comes with the 4-piece set, and it's long, but sometimes it's not long enough, and then you have to go out there, and buy another pry bar from Snap-on, and there's another expense. So this is pretty much just a junk drawer. Extra like odds and ends screws and stuff go in here, and some fuses and stuff go down there. I got this little tin. It's empty. I keep like whatever I need in there, dip, money. Over here, these are all odds and end parts. Some bungee cord. I use these for like tie downs and stuff like that, and some basic tools that I don't use, spark plugs, all those old parts, and most of my receipts, over here, receipts, work order info, stuff like that. And then the last drawer, this is a plier drawer. Most of my pliers are just very basic Harbor Freight. The only ones that aren't are these. They are powered. The PT again from O'Reilly's. I never really use pliers much, but the rest of them are Harbor Freight. And again, Harbor Freight being Harbor Freight, this one needs warranted. That did not take long, maybe like 5 solid uses, and it started doing this. And then wire strippers, and then a hammer. This is a Snap-on hammer, 24 ounce. Item number HBBD 24. If you're looking to get the right size hammer, this is obviously the red one. And then on the bottom part here, this is, I keep my odds and end bags. I know I mentioned, having an SAE set of gear wrenches. Those are actually in here. So, if I ever do have to get a ratcheting SAE wrench, it's right there. So that's pretty much the updated toolbox tour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I made this one a little bit longer, so I can go a little bit more in depth with my tools. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Plenty more videos coming. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you smash that like button.